I just feel very responsible, and I'm glad I'm taking on that responsibility to shape their identity for themselves. Because it's not even about me anymore at this point. I have become the supporting character in these children's lives, which is crazy because it's my life, it's my story, but now I'm in the back seat. I really am. And I take pride in that because I truly feel like they will grow to know who they are.
Welcome to Travel Love Legacy, a podcast that highlights and celebrates the experiences of Black and Brown families who use travel as a means to create and build a legacy. Hear the stories of Black and Brown parents who are building a nest egg of long-lasting memories, resiliency, and worldly perspectives for their young ones. I'm Melanie, the host and creator, the Trinidadian Canadian mother of a pink-obsessed and awe-inspiring princess. Travel Love Legacy is a collection of stories that serves to inspire those who are yet to take the leap, so together we can leave behind a world filled of Black and Brown global citizens.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Travel Love Legacy. Today we're taking a deep dive into the story of Donnya. Now, Donnya is a Haitian-American mom and entrepreneur. She's got her own line of high-quality vegan leather diaper bags called the Yuma Collection. And we chat mostly about a family trip that they took to Ethiopia to visit her husband's side of the family. Now, from the moment she set foot, Donnya dove headfirst into the rhythm of daily life, from the language to the food and everything in between. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. She faced her fair share of challenges and uncomfortable moments. Yet each one became an opportunity for growth and understanding. Join us as we listen to Donnya's journey, exploring the sights, sounds, and soul-stirring experiences. So get ready to be inspired, and let's dive in. So we begin our chat where I asked Donnya to introduce herself, her family background, profession, husband, kids, and where she currently lives.
My name is Donnya, and we currently reside in Texas, Dallas area. But I'm originally from Boston. I've been everywhere. Let's just say that. I feel like we're just natural travelers. I was born in Florida, raised in Boston, Massachusetts. My husband's from Ethiopia, and my family is from Haiti. So I'm Haitian-American, and so we have a cute little African blood. I consider us an African family. Haiti is pretty much like the most African country outside of Africa, so that's us. And we've been traveling for a while, honestly, since we've been dating, so that's been really fun.
I then asked Donnya to describe what her early childhood memories and experiences are with travel.
It just came in my mind. I remember when I was really young, my first trip was solo, and I think I was around 5 or 6, and I was with my brother, and he was around like maybe 1.5, 2. And we boarded the plane by ourselves. At that time, my mom had, I guess, bought some service so then someone can watch over us. But we were by ourselves. She flew us from Florida to Massachusetts. For a while, I was living with her sister and my grandma, and she was trying to pretty much get herself going in Massachusetts and get a job. And once that was done, she flew us out. And so it was my first time traveling by ourselves. And I vividly remember it because it was just us two. We were scared, but they gave us food. They took care of us. But yeah, it was just 2 kids on the plane heading from Florida to Massachusetts.
We then got on to the topic of family travel, where I asked Donnya how and when she and her husband decided to start traveling with their kids.
There wasn't like a pinpoint moment, but we just like to do a lot of outdoor activities as a couple. And once I was pregnant with my daughter, we knew that it wasn't going to stop. Like, we got married, and I think I found out I was pregnant maybe. It wasn't even a year yet. And so, I didn't want to be that couple that's just like, all right, cool, we have kids, we don't travel anymore. So we decided to do small trips, like just driving from a state to the other to go to like a museum, or see like an aquarium. So it was mostly like road trips of traveling within the US. And that was like around 2018, 2019. Abby was like around 2 years old at that time.
I then asked Donnya to describe what her first experience was like traveling with the family.
Actually, being with him and traveling, I got used to long distance traveling by myself because I don't like being behind a wheel. I do 3.5 hours max, and then we switch spots. But it's those small little things that you don't consider, like, because you think about the destination, right? Well, how much fun you're gonna have when you get there, but getting there is what's challenging, especially with children, is preparing the snacks and the activities, making sure that they're occupied. And I like to do little to no screen time, of course. So that experience has been interesting with just seeing what we can do and just being out there in the world and being present with our family.
In continuing to get to know Donnya, I asked her about some of the places that she and her family traveled to throughout the years and to describe those experiences.
Yeah, actually, our first country was the Bahamas, and I was on a cruise. Abby was in 7 months. And then Ethiopia, of course, in 2019. And luckily, that was before COVID because we would have been stuck there. And then Mexico was back in December of 2023. But in between that, everything else was within the US. We actually did a road trip from Louisiana to California, Nevada to go to Lake Tahoe. We just drove straight. And I remember at that time, my mom, she thought we were crazy because this was mid-COVID. But it was just like, we're going to the outdoors. We're going to Lake Tahoe. And of course, we've been to different places. We've been to Flagstaff, Arizona, beautiful location. I mean, there's so much you can do in the US before tapping into, the international countries. But the majority of our travels have been road tripping through the United States.
While we tend to quickly look at different experiences traveling from country X to country Y, I asked Donnya, just on a high level, to talk to us about traveling domestically versus internationally with kids and what her experience as a Black mother has been in each space.
Let's just say I have anxiety. I'm not the type of person who likes to throw that left and right. But when it comes to traveling, especially road tripping through southern states and even just western states where you don't see that many of us out there, I do get scared. And so what I like to do is I would just tell the kids to stay close, of course. And with me, it's mostly of a conversation between myself and Tom. Like, I'll let him know, like, hey, we got 5 minutes tops at this stop and I'm ready to go because you can feel the glares and everything. But it's mostly just me just soaking up all the information that I have as a Haitian-American in the United States. And I know what is out there, so I get scared. But surprisingly enough, we haven't had anything crazy. We've had a lot of love. Like, people absolutely love our kids. We've had a lot of people just want to take photos with us while we're on the road. I'm like, all right. They always say, look at that beautiful Black family. I'm like, all right, thanks. So, but it's been good. But as a person who's been raised in the United States, it's always in the back of our minds and we're expecting something else. And it's not healthy. It's too much on my chest, honestly. And I stress my husband out too much, especially with the countries that we've been in. I knew that I was going to be okay. Our first one was the Bahamas, and I kid you not, we was just walking through the streets. We have a limited amount of time before the cruise leaves. So many people were just coming up to us, and this is just me and Tom and Abby. She was in like a little carry-on. There was this like beautiful Black family. You guys are gorgeous, and I was just like, thanks. And so, we just felt like we were at home because my parents are from the islands and we're in the Bahamas. There was actually a lot of Haitians there. Apparently there's a good population of Haitians in Bahamas. So it felt nice. In Ethiopia, you walk out, you wake up, everyone looks like you. And, it was just interesting to see, like, I blend in. I'm with my people. So that was nice to experience.
So now the conversation shifts to the family trip to Ethiopia. I asked Donnya how old the kids were when they first visited and what were her thoughts when she and her husband made the decision to visit.
When Tom and I got married, or even just while we were dating, I never met his family. And even when we got married, they even showed us a video and some photos. They had their own celebration in Debrecen, Ethiopia. Like they were celebrating from afar. And so 2019, that would have been 4 years since we were married. And we're like, let's just go and visit the family. Our main decision, like the main factor that was like a contributing, I guess, factor to it all was because the kids were young. It was like, listen, these tickets are going to be free. We even did it a little bit before Abby turned 3, but on the way back, her flight, we had to pay for it because she was going to be 3 coming back. So that was our main decision making. It was like, let's just go while the kids are free. We have 2 kids on our hands. Let's go back home. And of course, it was my first time meeting his family. So that was really nice to see them. And they were very welcoming. So it was just a great experience. We do want to go back for sure.
And before we even get into the experience stepping foot on the motherland, I asked Donnya to describe what the experience was like traveling with young kids on a long-haul flight.
The hours, listen, it's like road trips. I do not like long road trips. And on top of that, you're in the air. And so my anxiety was like going insane. Anything could happen. But we had a layover flight in the UK. And I think that was like around 13 hours. And it was a lot, but Aman, he was like honestly 4 or 5 months at that time. So I did pack bottles just in case. Yes, it was a smooth plane ride. The kids were great. They slept. They weren't, a bothersome, because that's one of the main things with children and traveling is being that family, and they were great. And our layover was in the UK. And like I stated before online, it's great to make use of your credit cards, because we had a nice layover in the UK and the lounge was amazing. I mean, we showered in there, had food. It was a great break in between the next flight from, the UK straight to Ethiopia.
We interrupt the story to deliver a very important message. If you're liking what you're hearing and want to learn more, please like, share, subscribe, and leave us a review. Anything you can do to help us out would be greatly appreciated, as your support will go a long way in keeping this podcast alive. Thank you. I can just imagine the bundle of emotions that Donnya was going through, this being the first time meeting her husband's side of the family. So I asked her how it all went and what were her first thoughts.
Oh, it was beautiful. They had, how when you read the scriptures and it talks about how Jesus was welcomed with like the big branches of leaves, they had that there. I was like, listen, I'm in the motherland right now. They had the leaves. They were making like the calls. It's like a yell. It was nice. It was really beautiful. They even had like a special lamb. They blessed it. They just, everything was very spiritually in tune, very family centered. We blessed the food together. I mean, they even feed you with their hands. And that was a lot for me, because as a Haitian, it's just, we like to eat with our forks and everything, unless it's like fried plantains, but, and we don't like people getting close to each other. If you're eating in peace. But they literally had the whole handful, and it was just like, here you go, and in your mouth and everything. So that was a lot to get used to, but it was all out of love, all out of love.
Given that culturally Haiti and Ethiopia are pretty different, I asked Donnya whether or not her husband prepared her for the experience.
He taught me how to say, certain things like thank you and food, and I mean, so many words, but I forgot a good amount. But I do know that thank you is amasaganalo. It's a long word. And so, yeah, he prepared me for sure. And I mean, but of course, nothing prepares you for like the actual experience of being there. So it was really good. It was amazing.
I then asked Donnya to describe some of her firsts on this trip?
Yeah, one of the first things that caught my attention was that everyone is on the move. No matter what age you are, they're hustling to make ends meet, and they're really just trying to, at least by the end of the day, have food on their plate. And that's something that we don't even consider here. We kind of do, especially with inflation now, but it's really different. And everything is fresh and natural. And one thing that kind of set me off just a little bit, and you don't really notice it, but a lot of our food, of course, is refrigerated. And watermelon, mangoes and everything, they would have me taste it, and it wasn't the same. Of course, it's sweet, and because it's natural. But because it was lukewarm, I was just like, I don't know. That was one thing that kind of set me off. I was just like, should we put this in the fridge real quick? Like, but they don't have refrigerators in their houses. It just didn't hit the same. But I was able to see the difference of people too, because in the crowds of people, Ethiopians are not that tall. You can spot the Sudanese. You can spot all the other different nationalities in there, because of course, there's different races or nationalities within Ethiopia, and the different features, the different people, the different dialects. It still all works together. It's because when you're outside looking in of Africa, you think of the countries separately, but they are all together in different countries, and it's like the US, and I don't know. I just didn't expect so many other types of Africans in Ethiopia, if that makes sense. Yeah, we stayed there for a week, and it should have been longer. But one of the first adjustments was just the time. I had a headache for like the first 2.5 days. Like my eyes were like bloodshot red. I don't know why, but it's broad daylight, but it's completely different. Because even now when he gets phone calls, it's around 3 a.m. here, but over there it's like it's the afternoon. So it's different. So I had to adjust to that. I had migraines really bad, and I had to adjust to seeing the animal being killed right in front of me. They was like, hey, let's bless the lamb and everything. And I had to take another nap. I slept a lot because of the time difference. They woke me up. And they said, let's go kill the lamb. I was like, oh, I'm seeing this live. They brought me to the back. Tom was holding everything, and they slit the throat. It was a lot. I literally was just like, you know what? I don't mind being vegan. But it tasted really good a couple hours later, though. It did. It did. That was a lot to see. And just seeing animals around you, like on the main road, you see goats, lambs, everything. They're walking with you. Cows, they're literally in a row. Because, for us, we have to go to the zoo to see that. Big cows with big horns. Camels everywhere. Like you're with the animals. And it's not like the safari. It's just like regular city lifestyle. But people have these, they're like livestock. This is like their value. So if you have 3 or 4 camels, I mean, you're pretty much very wealthy out there. And so they travel with them. They have to, take care of them. They're like dogs. Like they're pets, but they're so big and large. So that was a lot to see in the middle, like downtown or something. So that was interesting.
Given that her husband, Tom, is Ethiopian born and bred, I asked Donnya to describe how that fact made her and the kids' experience unique, both in enriching and challenging ways.
It definitely made it unique by experiencing Ethiopia at the normal, I guess you could say, currency. Because there were times where we would travel with the family and they had me scoot a little further back and to not say anything. Because if they see me in the front, like especially at the admission, it doubled the price, and a lot of the locals, they would say, because I had long Senegalese twists at that time, they thought I was Jamaican. They've never heard of the island of Haiti at all. And so I didn't think I stood out, but I guess I did. So that was an advantage to, of course, just experience it how everybody else would without having the price be shot up by like 3 times. But I think any disadvantages, no, I felt safe because we actually had a moment where we traveled with the van together so that we wouldn't have to rely on the tuk-tuks. It's like the little cars. And we hung out at his cousin's house. Some local in the morning told us like she saw somebody rummaging and going through the van and trying to take whatever they can find. So that means that people were watching, they can see us. But, with Tom, he blends in, he's fine. And, everyone has updated, wardrobe. So it's not like we're not dressing lavishly, but they knew that we were here. Like something was different. And so they were following us. But luckily we didn't have our luggage in the van that day. We normally did. So just imagine like all eyes are really on you without you even noticing it. Like you just think you're just seeing family, but people are watching. So that was kind of creepy for a second.
Albeit short, I'm sure you can tell from listening that the trip to Ethiopia was impactful to Donnya and her family in so many ways. So I asked her how Ethiopia has left an impression on her in terms of her sense of self and identity.
I left feeling that there was let's just say a third place of home for me, because of course, I'm born and raised here in the United States. So it is home. Haiti is my home, and I've never even been there, but my mom taught me so much about the country, and I'm like so deep in the culture. Haiti is my home. And going to Ethiopia, I felt like, that I could see myself living here, that this is another part of home for me in the world. And that's important for us as African Americans, or just any Black individual, African descent, because it feels like we have nowhere to go. Nowhere is accepting of us, but we have that in the African continent. So that was amazing feeling for sure.
Similar to the experience that I had while going through the Instagram profile of Dr. Alicia Jean-Denis, my previous guest, when I was perusing Donya's Instagram, I saw a quote that she had in her profile status, which read, "Life does not end once motherhood starts." I asked Donnya to reflect on the trip to Ethiopia, and as an extension of the previous question, comment on how that trip has changed her identity as a Black mother.
It definitely made me feel, let's just say, responsible for the upbringing of my children and how they see the world. Because since they started so young, they were able to see a lot. And my daughter has an amazing memory, although she went to Ethiopia too. And luckily I vlogged the experience. She likes going back to watch the vlog on YouTube. So I feel responsible in shaping how they view themselves before they step out and see the world that they haven't seen yet, which is ugly. So far they've seen the beauty. Even in Mexico, Mexico, so much respect for those people. I left like wanting to be Mexican. I love their culture, and they love us too. My mom went and she said somebody stopped her and they said, "I hope you know that we Mexicans respect Africans. Like you guys are, pretty much, how they say we're the origin of everything." We had that experience in Mexico, so I just feel very responsible, and I'm glad I'm taking on that responsibility to shape their identity for themselves. Because it's not even about me anymore at this point. I have become the supporting character in these children's lives, which is crazy because it's my life, it's my story, but now I'm in the back seat. I really am. And I take pride in that because I truly feel like they will grow to know who they are.
So Donnya is a proud Haitian-American, yet she admits that she still has not visited due to a variety of circumstances. But I asked her how her other travel experiences have prepared her for when she does decide to go to Haiti.
Listen, I've always wanted to go home. Every year I want to go, something happens. I'm not even kidding. Civil unrest, political unrest, president got shot years ago. We still don't have someone in office. Hurricanes, earthquakes. It's like, and I think the last time I wanted to go, my whole family went and I was pregnant. And it was just like, no, you're taking a seat. You're not going, so I've never gotten a chance to go. And this is me and Tom have been married for 9 years. I've been wanting to go for 9 years. So Ethiopia has definitely prepared me, and Mexico, because, there was a lot of, we went to Cancun, but we also been to Cancun, like in the areas where like, wow, this is the actual city of people. Like, it's just like Ethiopia. People are really trying to make ends meet. It's not just the resorts. And my mom, she's from the village and like the northern side. So I heard that it's safer. So definitely it's prepared me to definitely pack a lot of muumuus, dress low key. Listen, I don't even have to retwist my hair. I want to blend in because Haitians, I know how they can be. I don't want to be in a situation where someone's forcing me to give them money that I don't have.
I then asked Donnya to describe what a family trip to Haiti would mean to her and how would it make her feel.
It means everything. And I told Tom, like, when I go, I really feel like I might just like cry my eyes out on the beach for like an hour. Like, I think I'll just need space by myself because Haiti just needs a break from all that it's been dealt with. And for me, it's like I'm coming back home to a place I've never been to, but I still have this tie, this draw to go there, but I've never been there. So I feel like it's going to be a very spiritual experience. And I think I wouldn't mind going by myself because I feel like the kids are going to ruin it. I really would need a time by myself on the beach just to gather my thoughts because I have been longing to be there.
I then close off by asking Donnya how she is seeing travel impacting her kids' development and what sort of takeaways would she like her kids to have in coming years when they look back on these experiences.
Oh, definitely that they had a blast or even just caught up on a language or two. These kids came back counting their numbers. There was just like uno, dos, like after leaving Mexico. And every now and then my son, he just turned 5. At that time he was 4. He caught up on the language so fast. And so it's just the small things. It's like they're willing to learn more about other people, other culture and food. That's like one of the main takeaways for sure. It's just like take as much as you can when you come back home, so that when you get older, it's just like, I want to go back and visit these countries and not just think about the resorts and the luxury lifestyle, and just to be with the people that are there.
Thanks for listening to Travel Love Legacy. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. Doing this really helps me to grow. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Travel Love Legacy. Till next episode, bye.